favored of the dual effect. So basically, like I was explaining with Ezekiel and the way that was, since feelings got interthreaded with actions, basically, your within and your without does not match, which gives the wrong word, like love, the wrong definition. So it's already had its dual ping pong effect. So people are saying out there, well, the narcissist doesn't know how to love. Okay, they don't know how to love, but then they don't even have the proper registered definition in their head. So their brain has registered the word with the wrong definition. And so the behavior is only, all of what the brain knows. So the behavior acts on the definition versus the word, but they use the word that seems to create a mask, when it's not really a mask. It's the wrong definition that they registered, because whoever was reprimanding the child or the teenager or even the spouse, they perceive the word with the wrong action or the wrong behavior. So because of that, you have people out there that are causing the worst effect and are actually creating a hybrid of empathicness and narcissism, but they don't even know the proper definition to the word. So from there, it causes mental illness, and then they just say, well, screw it all in their head, and try to create a world outside of themselves, and that's how the illusion starts, and then it creates their reality. And so even the people online that are decoding or basically making people aware of narcissism, they're still giving the people, the audience, the listeners, whatever you want to call it, they're still giving them the wrong information, because now you have a war against empath and narcissism, when the narcissist is somewhat of the empath as well, not claiming their true self and agreeing that they're the ones that got screwed over by the narcissist. Well, if they got screwed over by the narcissist, then don't you think they would have known what love's definition is, and meaning the wrong definition? And what I mean by definition is the feeling of the word. So the feeling of the word has gotten interpreted wrong through the behavior. And so if you're a kid and get your ass beat, or you get reprimanded, you get disciplined, you basically really human-like don't like that person, or you hold a resentment against that person, or your emotions tell you that's bad. But they'll come around with I love you, I'm your parent, I love you, or I'm your whatever, aunt, uncle, grandma, I love you. And so the first teaching as a child is love's definition. And so since they've used the word I love you matched with their behavior of being reprimanded in a negative way, that kid is going to grow up throughout school and whatever to his first relationship to perceive love as being reprimanded or abusive or verbally abusive or any type of negative way. So when someone is actually nice to him, he has no other way to use that word other than the opposite way, which is I don't love you. And so as a kid doesn't know, the right things to say, they're only going to go with the opposite and bring it into their teenage or adult life, which is going to be given the opposite two definitions for one word, basically. One with the right feeling is going to mean the opposite effect of telling somebody I love you versus I don't love you. And then the wrong feeling gives him the wrong definition of actually saying I love you. Because to the ones that reprimanded him, I love you means you're mean to me, or I don't really like you. And so when someone that is nice to him comes around and says good things or doesn't treat him the same way, he's going to respond back to the opposite way, which is I don't love you, which really means I don't hate you. You're not mean to me. You're different from them. But he has one word with two definitions, and now he can't put it together. And so from there, he grows up, and then more feelings get affected, and he ends up intertwining those two definitions with the one word with new behavior that was introduced to him, and then from there, it's self-destruct.
Right?
We got all different types of mass destruction, and that's exactly what's creating society to have mental illnesses to cause all this destruction that is going on in society that we see today. So the predictions that we all believe in, biblical or whatever, this is exactly why it's reoccurring in our now situation, and it's going to keep reoccurring in our future situation, because definitions, feelings, actions, emotions, words, everything has been so twisted and tongue-tied into the mind that it's already so hard for a human being to unravel it out. And unraveling it out means you have to go within yourself and kind of figure out all these things, when the human mind can't even do that anymore because of all the problems that go on within society, living in the system itself. Just trying to work and hold a job and support a household is hard enough, so the brain or the mind doesn't even go that far to even think, because we're all blindsided and distracted from the living days, the living nows of society. So nobody's ever going to figure that out. So mental illness gets occurred. People get crazy in their head because they know they're not being a certain way, but their feelings are being affected by different tongue-tied mental thoughts that weren't even taught to us right. So at that point, it's causing mass destruction, confusion, spiraling conversations, definitely in households and all that, as well as relationships within the family, all sorts of things. So when a person gets to their breaking point and they can't figure all this out, well, they're going to go on and do some type of mass destruction shooting or whatever at a school and work and public. It doesn't matter. It just depends on what affected them and what problem they were having their whole life.
And that's where we come into the statement of a nuclear family, because so many people are not given the proper foundation from their family. And another thing, people forget that they can forgive themselves. They can change. They can make their life different from the foundation that they were given. We can rebuild ourselves. We can do right. We can be right. We can understand we do not have mental illness. We do not have the feelings that we carry around, because those feelings were created for us, not by us. So then when we think that we are mentally ill, we are not mentally mentally ill. We just have never thought for ourselves. We've never had our own feelings and never had our own emotions. We've never even been able to make our own decisions because we always had a puppeteer doing it for us.
And the puppeteer starts within the person that put the definitions in our head to match the words and feelings that we use to this day. So you figure if you get on Google right now and you look up before Christ nuclear families, well, nuclear families was a term used before pyramid days, before Egyptians. And so nuclear families has bled all the way in to the present, to the now. And so nuclear family turned into nuclear warfare. Nuclear warfare consists of two different things, within and without. So, for example, America is strong on the outside. We have military, we have weapons, we have all sorts of built things that are strong on the outside. But we're weak-minded on the inside. So being weak-minded on the inside is a form of a tactic that other people can use on us because of our behavior. So nuclear warfare. Well, mass nuclear warfare, that's within the mind. So being within the mind, nobody has ever thought to even think that we are being attacked mentally through the world, through people sending terroristic threats and people threatening our country. Well, that's all giving us fear. Bombs, missiles, attacks. That's all making us literally paranoia from the outside to where we're not even able to even look inside of us. And not being able to look inside of us, well, they're able to manipulate our minds through anything and everything, especially technology, especially videos, internet videos, all sorts of different things. Their news, any type of breaking news, everything on the news is bad anyways. And so they're using our system against us with their own technology that they are creating for us. For instance, where do we get all of our technology from? Our TVs, our smart TVs, our cell phones, our tablets, our everything. Every electronic device usually says, hey, made in Japan, made in China, made in this. And we are buying the crap out of them. We are filling up our households with so many of this technology that all they have to do is build it, make money, and let us self-destruct in the mind. From there, they're going to start inventing things that we put in our bodies. And all they got to do is figure out a certain way. So when we do put those things in our body, they're going to have a big old computer board, big old warehouse full of nothing but computer boards that they're going to be able to press a button and control us just like a remote controlling a console unit, a Xbox, a Nintendo. So you go from your imagination to building a Nintendo console, and then now you look at history and nobody sees the real thing coming. Your imagination got turned into the reality. So instead of inventing video games, well, the next video game they're going to play is us. And it's going to be real live video games. Human beings being controlled by controllers, just from one country having the controller and the other country is going to be the game. And we are that game. We are that mental game. And we are so caught up in our own system, we don't even see it coming. And this is the next world mass destruction that is going to occur and take place that nobody even aware of.
And that's how we ourselves have become our own worst enemy. We are self-destructing ourselves. We are not believing in ourselves anymore. So therefore, we are becoming our own worst enemy. And therefore, we will continue to ruin ourselves until we realize that we are not our own worst enemy.
People need to start learning how to decode and save your family.